everybody, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Yeah, I've got my new glasses and they've got a blue coating for all the screen time that I have, but yeah, it means there's blue reflections on them, so you can't see my eyes quite as well. But if I sit at the right angle, it does look like I've got blue eyeshadow on. Anyway, that's not going to be today's topic. That's what I want to talk about now. And the title of this video is Twin Flames, the promise of dreams is that they come true. And many divine counterparts at this time, perhaps they're being a little bit quiet, but it's all still going on with them just like it is with you. You've got a lot going on the inside. There may be other people around the periphery of your union that you're currently choosing to release. Perhaps they're not choosing love. But feel into whether you're focusing on releasing a person when it's really a deeper pattern that needs releasing. Some people at this time are exploring a pattern of having adopted certain strategies or maybe used certain substances to connect because it was the only way they believed they could connect to the divine or to their twin flame. Although one might not be living that out right now, it will still be in consciousness. Heavily relying on outside things to stay in a relationship, pouring loads of resources so the outside looks okay, or going to the outer body experience to experience love with someone who isn't there physically. Keep releasing each piece. Your consciousness may take you to a memory, so go there. How were you feeling about love back then? One may have a conscious pattern of trying to make someone what they needed them to be because this person would stay and the real one didn't seem to be around or didn't seem interested. But then one would sober up to the fact that they were with the wrong person. There's a lot of love needed in this place. Open the gates, let the love in. That's what we're doing. Finding the spaces that are needing you to let deep love into. Love that we didn't have at the time. Find the place, go there, and stay there till that place is fully loved. We don't rush, never rush the love. Give that part of yourself everything it needs. As Rumi said, close your eyes, fall in love, stay there. But can we love with our eyes open? Brahms the poet said, when the person who's next to you when your eyes are open is the same person who is next to you when your eyes are closed, you're living the dream. Tap into that part of yourself that believes that you can only have the love when you're asleep or dreaming or in another state of consciousness. The collective is healing an over-reliance on the fantasy life at the moment. You're bringing your union in and grounding it. There has been a tendency to need to be in love. So one has to go out of their body to get that love. And you can see that it's a pattern that comes up a lot. Love is not here. So one experiences love when they're asleep, meditating, etc. That's not bringing love into the now, into the awareness of having it now. If you're feeling unsettled about this, don't worry. Go to your foundation. When your union comes into land, it needs somewhere to go. It needs solid ground. So ground into your foundation. There's a time to do that, and there's also a time to party. There'll be many more parties and weddings, your own included. That's not where your good is. It's good to work on your foundation for a long time. It requires discipline, especially when you see other people partying, but the results will show. Even if you don't see results immediately, gather everything up. You're coming into land. Focus back on the pattern that's not allowing the union to come into the awareness that it is currently present. The pattern of believing that love is always just a dream. Nothing can keep you from love. Heal that part of yourself that's pushing it away somehow. Believe in your dreams. Are they just dreams? We've become very used to wishing, wanting, desiring, longing, yearning. And we're very comfortable in that energy, but we're now stepping into the energy of having it delivered. This can feel alien because we've forgotten what it feels like. There's also a settling for less pattern of being content with just being near one's twin flame. Feeling that one can't have them, so one It's just going to go in and be in the vicinity, because that's apparently all that one can have. Go and be with that part of yourself that felt they could only be near their twin flame. Give it what it needs. Give it the entire experience. Deeply ground it into this dimension in physical form. We're going in and bringing in the reality of this. Let this part of yourself fill up on it. Receive all the foundation that it needs. Being physically present with your beloved, eye to eye, not just in the dream state, but having a cup of tea, sitting on the sofa. Lots of the boring stuff. The boring nights at home, watching telly, stuff like that. Moving away from flying through the stars, bringing it down to the, what's for dinner, love? Who's going to put the rubbish out? Don't you just want the experience of having a fight with your twin flame about who's putting the rubbish out? We want that. We want to harmonise our union by having that experience, ground zero. What we need to do is have a ground zero to begin with. And that means coming into the awareness that it is here now. It's not otherworldly. It's just you. It feels good. You don't have to give up the other experience, but we do want to release fantasy as fantasy and realise it's a fabricated experience of love, and we're here for the real deal. We don't need to create what love is. We simply invite love to be present with us and show us what it is, even fighting about who puts the rubbish out. Yeah. 5D imaginary stuff, or who's going to put the rubbish out? Yeah, you can choose. The theme is the awareness of it. Simply, we're all working on is we're working on the awareness that it's here now. Some are very driven and ambitious to come into union quickly. It's really only the belief that you can have it. It's the only thing that keeps it away. Some really believe that they can have it, and then they get stuck in other areas, hit some big block and don't choose to confront it. There's nothing wrong with being pushy to have your way, but you can't be pushy and not choose to heal the patterns that it brings up. Some people become unstuck when they've called in more than what they've healed. There's no need to worry. The divine won't let you down. When we trust the divine, we know we're going to have our good. Wherever there's an element of doubt, the desire builds up, then drops out when we worry. So the doubt creates the repulsion. We have the desire, and then the energy falls away. And then we can think we can have our desire, because we can't have our desire because we've got this energy leak of worrying, obsessing, and not trusting. And when we don't trust the divine, we don't feel safe, so we try to control the situation. Is there any part of you that doesn't feel safe? Just focus on safety instead of worrying, or else love remains in this fantasy realm and we can't ground because we don't feel safe with love. We all know how to navigate fake love. We have no expectations of it other than it's shit, and we may choose the best version of the shit and only experience real love by going into the dream state, taking something, having a fantasy. So choose to ground love, the divine way, in the most compassionate way to experience peace. Many divine counterparts, many of the twin flames of the people watching this now, are experiencing contrast right now, and the contrast will thicken and thicken and thicken until everything's revealed. Do you trust that the divine is at work in your twin flame's heart and their life right now? Have you ever had the divine work in your life and you didn't know what was happening? You might not have called it God, but you was aware that something was being pointed out that was significant. We're all guilty of not having trusted our intuition enough, and that goes back to the safety. When you trust the divine and feel safe, it means that you have all that you desire. Trusting your desires in your heart means trusting yourself. And when we can trust where we're being led and what our feelings are, then we're trusting the divine. Choose to be treated as a divine child of the universe, completely connected to the divine through your heart and through all your desires. Your desires are God's desires, and your will is God's will. Trust in your heart that it's real and not just a fantasy because it feels good. If you feel completely lost in the moment, ask yourself, do you feel good or bad? You can trust yourself because your desires feel good. It simply means you're connected to love. The fantasy feels good, but does it really? When we go off into hyperspace, what happens when we come off that substance? Or wake up in the morning and look at the partner that's not the one we've been dreaming about. It feels rubbish. At its heart, there's a payoff. The way we ground that feeling that it is real, because the fantasy is coming from a desire, is simply to be present with it in your heart and heal through the upsets that tell you that you can't have it. That's grounding. We don't want to be, hey, I'm in the moment, I don't want it to end. Oh, it has ended. I'll wait for the next one. Off I go again. Bring in every piece that thinks it has to end, that it has to stop, that thinks it can't have it. This is the place where we go and heal. Wherever there's the temptation to look for love in that place, that fantasy world, that outside place, we're not bringing the love and knowing that it's actually in us and nothing can take it away. Can you feel that you can contain love, that it can't escape or leak away? This is building a thorough foundation for your union. There's no point doing it if it's not fully grounded. It brings you closer to the experience of that love. Are you feeling the urge to reach out to your beloved at this time? The purpose of communicating with your twin flame is to share love and share yourself. It's safe to share feelings authentically. It is not to try to get love. Looking outside for love is an interesting pattern. While we're looking over at our twin flame and what they're doing, we're looking outside for love, and the twin flame is not the source. Every time you're looking at them and what they're up to, that's looking for love out there. What do you really need in this place? Bring love to this place, the love that you're looking for out there. Take your time until you feel satisfied with receiving that love from yourself from within. It's not serving you to look to your twin flame for clues. Can you take it on board that it's a pattern that holds third parties or hairbrushes in place? Remember, all the love you need in every single way is already within you. This makes you incredibly powerful and brings you into the awareness that you're not missing out on anything. If you're still looking on the outside and there's still a hairbrush, there's some part of you that still feels that love is on the outside. That's where the healing's needed. Go to the divine. It's not fair to keep yourself from the love by entertaining the pattern. It could be a deeply rooted thing. It's a deeply rooted thing for pretty much everyone, thinking that the love can't be satisfied within. Go beyond the dream fantasy connection. It's everyday reality that's coming in for you. It'll involve arguing, it'll involve fighting, balancing and harmonizing, going deeper, working through stuff. Your twin flame won't ever be your source. Then you may be in an upset and then be happy as Larry and vice versa. They're never going to be the person you go to get love from, ever. How does it feel to be in a real relationship? Is there any part of you resisting that? You'll be fully with yourself. There'll be challenges, but you work it out as you go along. It's okay not to know. There'll be lots of ego junk that you see. How are you going to deal with that? Just be in love, really in love with you and the divine. The relationship with you and the divine harmonizes what you experience through your union. The union is safe to be wherever it is at this precise moment in time, even if it looks like a mess. As long as you're present with the divine, your union's going to start to reflect that, even if you're healing through something that's really sticky. Your twin flame being around you doesn't prevent you from being in love. You don't have to have unhappy moments. A challenge doesn't have to mean an unhappy moment. The purpose of the challenge is to move deeper into love. A challenge is perfectly normal. They don't have to be awful. Just acknowledge in these moments that the part of you is experiencing an upset. Moving through it with grace is what you want to achieve. Peace is at the core of your union. You can navigate anything when you have peace. It's simply a deepening. Your twin flame wants a peaceful everything, and that's why some of them are experiencing contrast right now. They're choosing a lot of peace because of it, but it's an uncomfortable thing to have to go through. They may feel like they have to be uncomfortable in order to grow, but you don't have to feel bad to heal. You don't have to. Your twin flame doesn't have to. If you hear your twin flame is experiencing a difficulty, and you're worried you're worried and wondering, are they strong enough to handle it? Yeah, of course they are. They're you. They're a big boy or a big girl. Even if they're having a bad time, it doesn't prevent you from anything at all. It doesn't slow anything down. One twin often has a bad time and the other is doing a little better, and they still come into union very, very swiftly. It's not so straightforward as not so straightforward as one twin's doing this, the other one's doing that. You move through similar patterns in a different way at the same time. And sometimes you're having a peaceful day and realizing that they're not, because you can feel something going on from them. It may look different, even the upheaval will look different for the other twin, but it's a very organic union. It's going to feel normal for everyone involved. There's no need to worry about whether or not they'll be able to handle it. Will they be surprised by it? It's just the same thing they've been experiencing anyway, just with different words to explain it. It's okay to meditate and be with your twin flame in your heart, but you can trust the divine. Lots of grounding. Work on the foundation for the union to come in. Splendid. Okay, everybody, I'm going to leave that message here. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.